Good morning and welcome to our Leader Expression of Interest presentation. My name is April Bryan and this is my colleague Chrissy Bronkowski. We are working together managing Eastwood Dairy Farm in Petworth and are here today to present our legal proposal to you. We are pitching for a grant of £40,000 to help us cover the start-up costs of the new business enterprise we are about to share with you. The purpose of this project is to renovate the farm's existing outbuildings into luxury self-catering accommodation units. For the initial development, there will be 3 outbuildings converted into accommodation units with 2 or 3 bedrooms in each, allowing us to cater to different sized families and groups. We aim to create a comfortable and luxurious accommodation space that creates a sense of space and freedom within the natural landscape surrounding the farm.
Our vision is that what you can see here is an artistic impression of what we were aiming to achieve in this refurbishment project. We would make use of the size of the buildings to create bright, airy rooms with a retaining main of the natural features of the buildings in order to give the accommodation units character and a sense of coziness. We want the units to blend in seamlessly with the rest of the farm and not want them to lose their sense of place. We are aiming to achieve an extremely high quality accommodation product to complement the affluent area surrounding the farm.
Our chosen target market. The intended market for the accommodation units is the walking and cycling community. We are focusing on marketing and guest experience based around this demographic. In a study by the Ramblers Association found that 77% of adults walk at least once a month for pleasure. This is a staggering 38 million people. According to Visit England, the English cycling market is growing rapidly and is estimated to be worth £3 billion by the end of 2015. This growth is expected to increase 10 to 15% year on year thereafter. This presents a major opportunity for accommodation providers that are geared to the needs of cyclists. We believe we have an ideal location and sufficient space to allow us to successfully cater to this market. Through our own personal experiences as keen walkers and cyclists, we also believe that we have a good understanding of what these market sectors look for in an accommodation product. We have decided not to specifically focus any of our marketing activity onto families due to the limitations in family holidays throughout the year due to school calendars. However, we will provide all the necessary facilities should this demographic wish to stay with us. The walking and cycling community is generally of an older age, with the majority being between 35 and 55. This age group tends to have a higher disposable income and increased leisure time, allowing us to position ourselves higher in the market with higher room rates than other local accommodation providers that might not be geared to this market sector. The increased leisure time of our chosen demographic will also be beneficial in achieving high occupancy levels year-round.
Our project timeline. The renovation and the refurbishment of the project will begin in January 2016 and we are anticipating of completion in April 2017. We have determined these dates based around the timeframes proposed to us by the contractors and the collaborations on the quotes of the refurbishment. This launch date will coincide with the summer season, which will naturally attract increased numbers of visitors to the area. We will start marketing the accommodation unit at the start of 2016, allowing us plenty of time to raise awareness of this project and generate interest from potential guests. From this time, we also start talking to other local businesses to begin to build working relationships that could enhance our guest experience. Oh yeah, Eastwood Farm is settled just around Petworth, just a 15-minute drive from Midhouse and a 25 minutes car drive from Chichester.
We believe we are well positioned within the South Downs National Park and close to Chichester Harbour, a recognised area of outstanding natural beauty. With our chosen target market in mind, both these factors provide many great opportunities for both cyclists and walkers, with a fantastic network of rights-of-way and public footpaths nearby. Being just an hour and a half drive from London makes us an ideal location for city dwellers to escape to the country for a long weekend or a midweek break. We are situated in close proximity to several large towns with many facilities and attractions, while still retaining a sense of countryside, space and freedom. The local area provides a range of activities to suit all tastes and interests, and the natural landscape provides a platform for both relaxation and adventure.
Workers don't just work, they always want to do and see other things. Workers want to be independent, they want to easy access to information and options, they want to be spontaneous and benefit from inspiration and encouragement. We weren't fortunate enough to be surrounded by lots of local attractions that we think would be appealing for our walkers and cyclists communicated. These include Arundel Castle, West Rotherham Beach, the Goodwood Estate, Petworth House, Hambling Working Museum, Fishbourne Roman Place, Westdeans Garden, Chichester Cathedral, Pallet House Gallery, Tidmouth Yards and Wine Tours. We will provide guides with lots of information on these attractions. We as well share our own personal knowledge of our local area.
For immersion with the existing business. The aim for our accommodation business is to merge as seamlessly as possible with our existing lifestyle and schedule. As the accommodation units are designed to be self-catering, a new business enterprise should have a minimal impact on our existing farm operations. Guests will have the opportunity to explore the farm as they wish, but will be given materials and advice on how and when to do so in order to minimise their impact on the farm and animal activity. If our daily schedules allow it, we will also offer the opportunity to give our guests guided tours of the farm site.
Our length of stays, in order to fit with existing farm operations and managing bookings more efficiently, we want to offer our customers 1 night, 3 night and 5 night stays. This will allow us sufficient time to turn around rooms between stays without impacting too heavily on our farming schedule. Whilst considering our target market, we are choosing to also offer 1 night stays with several of our competition don't do. This idea behind that is that we can attract guests who just want to stay for a night and are oft as a stopping point for longer cycle or walking routes. Our marketing communication unit. Due to market sector, we have chosen to target highly specific marketing channels will be used to most successfully reach our intended audience. The main example would be to consider it to be listed on our accommodation page of both of the Walkers Welcome and Cyclists Welcome websites. We will always also register on the Ramblers accommodation site and stay.com. We would like to advertise the UK magazines for walking, cycling enthusiasts, such seen on screen. We also advertise in more traditional channels such as online booking websites and direct sales such as Airbnb. By putting ourselves out these in many different marketing channels should maximise our potential bookings. During the initial startup phase, we would also like to visit several walking and cycling conventions around the country, not only to get our name out there, but also network with similar accommodation and get more ideas from them as well.
Why is the project needed? Due to the pressures of modern society and the competitiveness of major supermarkets, milk prices are continuing to fall and it is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain Eastwood Farm on the dairy profits alone. By diversifying the farm's activities, we will be able to increase our customer base and revenue streams to create a more profitable farm business and subsidise our income to give the farm a more financially secure future. By providing local quality accommodation, will attract more overnight visitors to the area, increasing visitor spend in other local businesses, which will positively impact the local economy and support our community. We also hope to provide occasional seasonal work within the community to assist with cleaning and laundry during peak times. Here you can see our partial budget to calculate the net financial gain. We have based these figures on our anticipated room rates combined with our anticipated costs and expenditures. We have spent the last few months talking to other local accommodation providers to ensure there are not any costs we have overseen or not sufficiently accounted for. As you can see, as the project will have little or no impact on our existing revenue streams after completion, it has the potential for a huge positive net financial gain. This additional revenue will provide Eastwood Farm with a financially secure future, allowing us to continue our dairy farming heritage.
What would happen if we didn't receive the grant? Well, first of all, we couldn't afford to diversify the farm and renovate the old buildings. Although we have the requirement funds to sustain the diversification, we don't have the sufficient upfront assets to launch the redevelopment and refurbishment of this project. We would have to look for alternate sources of fundings, including large banks and business with little interest in the preservation of the local area and sustain farming and business, which could compose with our rural values. If unsuccessful with the routes, we would have to consider alternative diversification channels would not support the local economy as much what we want. We want the local economy to benefit from it. Without diversification, the dairy farm would not be able to support itself financially due to falling milk price, as I've already said. We would eventually have to stop producing, close the dairy, sell livestock, and most likely sell the buildings and land and relocate. This would not only have to this would not only have to assess the impact of a dairy business, but also on our personal lives and our families.
What impact would it have on the local community if the project did not go ahead? The closure of our local dairy farm would have a hugely detrimental impact on other local businesses, especially our existing customers and the businesses we supply. There would be no opportunity to increase the customers and spend in the local area, and no opportunities for employment generated. The lack of quality self-catering accommodation tailored specifically to walkers and cyclists in the local area would not be addressed, and the area would struggle to attract new visitors.
The benefits to the local area and the community support the whole area by bringing new customers into the rural world, to the local pubs, to the shops, to the attractions that are out there. The possibility of catering employment opportunities by hiring new staff for seasonality. And we would raise awareness of the British farm culture by allowing guests to immerse themselves in the farming environment and hopefully engage our guests to help them understand the importance of buying locally sourced products. Education opportunity will rise as well to teach the new generation about the farming life and bringing people closer to the nature and the farm life.
Based on the priorities outlined for Sussex Downs by the LEADER programme, we have critically analysed our business plan to ensure we are in keeping with the local development strategy policies. The first of these priorities is to support micro and small enterprises that thrive and grow. We are a small local dairy farm supplying only local retailers, cafes and restaurants. Through our refurbishment project, we hope to create a small, low-key and yet luxurious accommodation offering. By doing this, we hope to fulfil the need for more accommodation locally, whilst ensuring that this need is not being outridden by large corporate chain hotels, which would not support our local economy. We believe our business development plan will not only allow our own business to thrive, but also drive businesses into other local outlets, retailers and attractions. By subsidising the dairy's income with accommodation income will allow us to keep our milk prices low, which will benefit all the businesses and customers we supply, and allow them in turn to keep their prices low. Overall, these factors will hopefully encourage people to buy and dine locally, which will hugely benefit our local rural economy.
The second priority is a robust year-round visit economy which celebrates the area landscape, environment and heritage. By providing a quality accommodation product in an area where supplies does not nearly meet demand, we hopefully increase visitors to the popular destination. It will be a platform of guests to go on and explore our local landscape, environment and heritage through the exhaustive list of brilliant events and attractions we have been nearby. We plan to build links with local attractions to encourage the guests to visit and hopefully offer deals or discounts. Through our decision, our market, our product to walkers and cyclists, we are encouraging a year-round tourism experience. We are not limiting ourselves to summer or Christmas holidays, as loads of others do, and our chosen demographic are not usually discouraged by weather conditions or seasonality. Additionally, we believe the walking and cycling market sectors are most likely to appreciate the respect of our local landscape and environment and will take full advantage of everything the South Downs has to offer.
The third priority is to provide an innovative service infrastructure which addresses the unmet needs to local people and supports resilient and resourceful rural communities. We are providing a much needed new accommodation service in our area. We believe we have strong rural values, and launching this new enterprise will allow us to continue to dairy farm and support our local businesses and communities.
After seeking advice from the National Parks Authority, the following key factors were highlighted to success points in achieving planning permission for this project within the South Downs National Park. Under the guideline of the National Parks Authority, the developments in the protected landscape should be high quality, attractive and city comfortable with its site and setting, respond to the scale and character of the existing and the neighbourhood buildings, conserve and enhance local culture heritage, maintain opportunities for recreation and provide new opportunities for employment, understanding of the special qualities of the National Park. We feel that our business plan for this accommodation project is in keeping with each of these points. We have designed an accommodation product that will fit in with our existing lifestyle, and the units themselves are designed to complement the existing features and characters of the farm buildings and our rural surroundings. All the buildings work will be done with existing farm outbuildings, and their size and dimension will not be altered in any way. As an overnight guest experience, we have provided a new platform from which guests can and will be actively encouraged to explore and celebrate the South Downs National Park and all the culture and heritage within the local area. Whilst researching for this project, we discovered that there's a huge demand for accommodation in the local area and a very limited supply of product. There are several other self-catering accommodations provided locally, but none of these within the next 10 miles radius. We are offering a unique and tailored product for the walkers and cyclist communication. Another unique selling point we have against other local self-catering accommodation providers is the size and nature of our accommodation units. Our units can be rented individually or as a group. Our competitors all have either one bedroom or have 4 or more bedrooms, but can only be booked as a whole. Our unit sizes and booking packages allows guests more flexibility depending on the size of their party. As we are only providing self-catering accommodation, we don't anticipate to impact upon local food and drink retailers. If anything, we believe our business will increase their business with increasing the numbers of overnight stays in the area. There's very little accommodation in the area compared of demand. None of our direct competitors are specifically targeting towards cyclists and walkers as we plan to do. We therefore do not feel that the introduction of a small new accommodation provider in the area would have a significant impact on our competitors, many of whom have strong existing customer base and repeat customers.
As well as providing a comfortable and well-facilitated retreat for guests to stay in, we are aiming to provide a unique and thoughtful guest experience. We will do this by providing guests with all the facilities that our target market might wish for. This has been planned using both primary research into the motivators of cyclists and walkers when choosing accommodation, as well as our first-hand experience as keen walkers and cyclists in our free time. Here's just some examples of the things we would like to offer our guests. So we would have a drying boot room, a space specifically designed for drying soggy clothes with laundry facilities, drying racks and sinks to wash muddy boots. We have secure covered bike storage so guests can sleep safe at night in the knowledge that their bikes are locked away and we dry for them to use the following morning. Outdoor water access to provide guests the ability to wash their bikes before they return home. Working fireplaces and lock baskets to keep the guests warm after their adventures in the local area. And day weather. We also have tea coffee facilities with thermoses that guests can borrow if they need to take them out for the day. Comfortable seating and beds with heated blankets in the winter. Access to a wide range of local maps and cycling and walking routes, as well as our own personal insight and knowledge of our local area. We'd offer a basic bike repair kit, fast Wi-Fi for guests to plan their routes and activities for the rest of their stay, an outdoor barbecue and picnic area for the summer, and sweet treats provided by local collaborations as an extra touch for guests to return to after a day in the countryside. Access for all. After reading the recommendations from Accessible Countryside for Everybody, we have decided to make every effort to make our accommodation product accessible for all. Initially, only one of the 3 units will be modified for this purpose. Modifications will include wider doors, handrails, and no stairs or steps within the unit. Far too often, we believe that the country is inaccessible for those with disabilities, and we want to break this mold by providing a safe and accessible accommodation product as a platform from which guests can access the countryside. We will work with local authorities to ensure that there are sufficient accessible walking and cycle routes locally.
We are planning to work with existing, established and local businesses in order to maximise the guest experience whilst keeping our investment in labour to a minimum. Examples of this will include having a hamper there for them there while they arrive, so that's a nice gesture that we want them to feel welcome from the first moment they come to our farm. Discounted tickets to local events and attractions. We will hope, when working with collaborators, that they will offer us a discount so we can offer that to our guests. Fully licensed and insured bicycle hire for any holiday makers that may not have or have been able to bring their own bike. We got a document providing our collaboration that we are,
I think you've already got it.
With you.
And that's just a list of our proposed collaborations.
There are many, our main potential risks are, we have to identify for the accommodation project are as follows: seasonality, lack of bookings, competitors, impacts of existing farm business. We believe that we have already addressed how we will manage these risks. We feel we have selected an appropriate target market to avoid seasonality. We believe our market strategy is more than sufficient to drive bookings year-round. Although there are several other similar accommodation products locally, there are none in our direct vicinity and offering such a tailored offer for the walking and cyclist community. We believe this is our main unique selling point and will help differentiate us from the other competitors. In terms of how the product will impact our existing farm business, we believe that the offering purely a self-catering accommodation product will keep this impact to a minimum, whilst our local collaborations will allow us to provide immense and high-quality guest experience without huge labour or financial cost upon our own business.
Our future plans. Here at Eastwood Farm, we're always looking forward and seeing where we can take our business next. In terms of our accommodation product, we are taking time to consider where we would like to be with the project further down the line after the initial refurbishment. To begin with, we would hope to achieve 80% occupancy by the end of our second year of business. Once we have achieved this, we have several other unused outbuildings that we hope to refurbish, at least 3 more in the next 5 years. This will potentially double our bookings and revenue by providing a further 3 separate accommodation units, allowing us to cater for bigger groups such as wedding parties and corporate or social activity weekends. We hope that under the receipt of the LEADER grant, we can begin to pave our way to a more financially secure future in a sustainable way that does not compromise our dairy farming and is beneficial not only for ourselves but also our local community. That concludes the end of our proposal. We would like to thank you for taking the time to come here today and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. It wasn't. Your presentation shows that you have done a lot of hard work, and I actually, could see that you have tried to answer some of the key questions that I have. My problem with the presentation is actually that I think some elements of it are back to front, really, and sort of, many of the questions that I keep repeating in my mind. At the very end, you kind of start answering them. And actually would have been a lot better if, for example, competitor analysis. Who are your competitors? How are you different to them? What you're going to offer them that makes you, gives you USP. You kind of discuss your USP again at the end, and also you mentioned the competitor analysis at the end. And actually felt. I'm sure you have done it, but it's you kind of don't do justice to yourself in terms of saying who who are your competitors? It's sort of, you cannot say, well, we don't have competitors analysis and we're different. How so? Who are your competitors? How much are charging? Sort of, that needed a bit more detail, really. And again, one of the big questions that I have is, what are your mechanisms? Your mechanisms to achieve local community engagement in terms of sort of the economy. How you're going to draw out benefits to a wider region. Again, that comes at the end, and sort of, I would now like to see that a bit more fleshed out at the beginning, really. I also have a note, USP again needs to be linked to your competitor analysis. You are offering things that are catered for your chosen market, which is great, but how does that link to your competitors? Are you offering something that they haven't got, or do you need to do something else? Thinking aloud. This summer I went to sort of similar kind of accommodation in Wales, not Devon actually. And what was the USP was like all the units have a jacuzzi in front, and so well, but that was it.
The goldfish.
Everyone was there for although everything was fantastic and they really high spec and would have fit your market quite well. That was really the USP, really. So you really need to kind of draw that a bit more out.
Okay. Now, George, just on that, because if you're catering for the walkers and the cycling market, what is the product you have to put in place now for that? So I think you're creating this. We did it, and you got there in the end.
Yeah.
I think what you missed was that in your marketing, when you had the signs, you had the Welcome Walker and Cyclist brand up.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to get that?
Contact them.
No. What do you have to get that badge?
Oh yeah.
You have to meet a charter. Alright, you just cannot get that badge by saying, oh, let me have that stamp. You have to agree to a charter. We did this in a session, and at the end, we're going to provide this, we're going to provide this, we're going to do this. Alright? Actually, don't get bogged down in the minutiae. We're going to put. The point is that actually, we're going to. The most important thing you should have said is we're going to be walker and cyclist friendly. What does this mean? It means that we get this badge. To get this badge, we have to meet this charter mark.
Yeah.
And this charter mark implies that we have to provide the following as basic. Because if you're coming into the sector, that's the standard. Then we should think, right, how do we go beyond that? What do we do? So you're in. See, I think you start off at the very beginning and say, this is where we're at, and it's close to Chichester Harbour AOB. No, it's not. You're in the South Downs National Park.
It's not far.
Your context will be the South Downs National Park, not Chichester Harbour. Where you are, if you're walking, it's not going to be the harbour.
But if you're on a bike.
No. I still think your priority is the South Downs National Park.
That was in there.
It was, but eventually you didn't, South Downs, and what you should have done is said, right, okay, what walking have you got in the South Downs National Park? But it needs to, for this level, it needs to be more specific. So, for example, you didn't talk about the South Downs Way.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about all the shorter routes that the South Downs National Park promote that are available on their website. And you're saying, this is what we've got on the doorstep, these are the types of routes we can promote, it's all information we can put on the website, bang, bang, bang.
I was under the impression we were pitching to people that already knew all of that basic thing.
I know, you're pitching for funding for a concept. So
From
you
people
have
who live locally.
No, you don't, because Richard Chalk doesn't live locally. Okay? So all the ingredients were there, alright? But it was all a little bit, you just need to take on. If I could take you outside for 10 minutes and get you to do that again, just by moving things around, it would be a completely different presentation.
Shall we?
No. The other thing which at this level you cannot do is that you were talking off your PowerPoint a lot all the way through.
Off the PowerPoint?
Yeah, you were. You go back and look at some of your slides that you were just talking. What was on your piece of paper?
I tried to shorten them though.
No,
No, but then we elaborated on them.
You don't need to do that.
Why don't you just not have anything?
Why don't you just put bullet plans and just highlight that and put local collaborations, key emphasis on linking with businesses, local food, and and shorten it and talk around it. Never talk off the screen because I'm sitting there going, I've read it, move on.
I did it with some of them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was more than others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright? You know what you're talking about. I don't need to see it on there because
Okay.
that's level 1. If that, you shouldn't be doing that at all. Alright? And if I may, the other point you made earlier on is that you said at one point you don't see the value or impact you're going to have on local businesses. Then you start talking about food and drink. And you are, if you come in for a leader funding and you go, we're going to have no impact on local businesses in terms of spend, Richard Chalk will open the door and say, bye-bye then.
No,
Is it
we
what-
didn't. We said that we.
You did.
No,
You
we
did.
said that we would have a positive impact.
Really?
Yeah.
I think was when they were talking about competitors that actually say we're not going to have an impact, but kind of a negative impact, I think.
As we're already providing self-catering accommodation, we don't anticipate to impact upon any food, drink, or
Actually,
liquor.
yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean that as a negative. In the sense, if anything, we will increase it as in like.
Yeah, but that doesn't say that.
Okay.
We don't. I'm reading that as we don't anticipate to impact upon food or drink retailers. You're self-catering. If I go on holiday self-catering, I don't want to cook. That's the hard thing about self-catering is that you will. We went on holiday to Wales and we were there for 7 or 8 nights.
Yeah.
And we had night on, night off, night on, night off, and we will cook one night. If we've been out walking, we'll probably come home, we'll get something on the way home, do it, and then I'll say, well, let's go out.
Mix that up.
And then, so you are, that's the whole point of the leader funding is that you have to demonstrate. Now, then you contradicted yourself,
Yeah.
because later on,
Yeah.
you talked about linking it to food and
Yeah,
drink.
that was
and there.
supposed to be like a not a negative impact.
No, yes, I know what you meant, but when you read, that's the
Yeah.
danger. As soon as you read off the screen and you've got it written down,
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
The more you put on the presentation, the more you put your notes on,
Yeah.
you hold yourself to, hostage to fortune because it's there and I can go back and say, well, actually, you did say that because you're there.
Yeah.
Okay? But in essence, it's all there. It just needs a bit of polish around the structure from the very. Because the other thing is, I don't know who your competitors are. Well, I do know. That's the point. Is I do know who your competitors are because I advertise them.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have seen you. Now, similar group have also done self-catering today, and they've done the same thing. They haven't gone in and said, look, this is what we're up against. This is the standard that we've got to match. You had the aesthetic, and you showed us what you were aiming for, but there wasn't a, so what? Why is that important? Because when you look at everybody else that's doing self-catering, this is the industry level that people are expecting to get if they come to China. Alright? Let me leave you with one little guidance if you do this in the future, if you do anything. And I've picked up in the last 2 years. It's from the HEA, their impact assessment model. When you do something like this, all you've got to ask yourself is, so what? Just think, so what? What does that mean? This is the accommodation that we're aiming to do. So what? Because there's competitors. So what? Because the competitors are offering this. The HEA say, ask that question 5 times and you'll get the answer that you're looking for. And every time you ask the question, you're thinking again. And then you're thinking, and then you're thinking, and that takes you from a very basic point to a higher level thought process. That's the transition between a 2-2, 2-1 to a first. And you just got to keep building on that critical thing. Because it's there, but George and I are now having to kind of like, in our own heads, move it around a little bit for it to sync properly so we understand it. It's your job to try and facilitate that level of analysis. You've done it, but just move your pieces around so it's more articulate in terms of the overall structure. Okay?
Can I make a minor comment? Just in terms of skills, okay? Obviously, you know, you are a bit nervous, and it's fine to. Well, it's not fine. Ideally, you want to present with our notes, but it's okay to use notes. That's not my issue. Really, it's with in your presentation style, particularly with you, Chris. It was really, really notable. Every time you made a mistake or sort of you got sort of hung up with something, you kind of overemphasize. Oh, I'm getting stuck here. Kind of look at me. I'm getting stuck. Sort of notice that I'm sort of struggling a bit. So
I'm not feeling well either. I almost fainted earlier. That's why I'm really shaky.
Okay.
I am not that bad usually.
But
I can understand that. I'm totally not disagreeing. I know that.
Need to relax and sort of we all make mistakes. I do them all the time. But it's just
I know.
sort of
I
let them go.
That's not a criticism.
No,
It was a solid presentation. You present nicely.
I know. I know.
But never
exactly
in a
what you said.
presentation. Never apologise.
Exactly.
Never
Exactly.
admit a
Exactly.
weakness. If you're struggling, what you do is just stop. And it's actually to stop and just regroup takes more bottle than to carry on.
Exactly.
I know.
Let it go. Let it
Let it
go.
go.
Don't make a fuss of it.
Yeah, because you kept apologising. Never say sorry. Never admit weakness. You're in control.
Mhm.
It's always, just take a, and then, or just, 1 minute, sorry, and carry on. Just regroup and have the confidence in a presentation to own the stage while you're there, because it comes across as being very professional.
Yeah.
Right, it's a good you've never done presentations before, and I thought, given that you've not been in, you've come in from, that was as good as anybody else that you've got in a year group who's been with us for 3 years.
Indeed.
Okay, so that's not just get the order right.
Yeah.
Okay, because the understanding is there
Yeah.
in terms of what you do. You just need to tie the pieces together a little bit more. I've asked every group, so I'm going to ask you the same.
Yeah.
What would you mark that as? Listening to our feedback, reflecting on what you've done, now you've done it and you can look back and see it. What would you mark it as?
And remember, it was a good presentation, just not in the right order.
Yeah.
But all the elements are there.
Important as well.
What's your job?
In partnership, young lady, where would you go?
I don't know.
Don't sell yourself short. You have done a good job.
High 50s.
I think it's possibly a little bit better than that. We shall see.
Don't know.
It's the ordering.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the ordering of it.
Yeah.
That you got there in the end. But it's very competent. You mustn't worry. It's very competent. It's just the polish.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to work on that. Okay. But if you put that in the right order, you could go out and pitch that to professionals. The concept is strong enough to go and do it. That's the most important thing. All right. And you've got. I say this to the theatres all the time, that you guys can present better to people in the industry. You go and look at what people do. You can present to a standard that we would send you out. But you just got to go with the ammunition to do it. All right.